Hi, friends. Welcome to Mindful MX365. I'm Justin McBride, and this is the daily series where we consider quotes, concepts, and contradictions that can support us on a journey of experiencing life mindfully. Today's consideration is a concept of unintended or unpleasant thoughts pecking away at our back. Again, today's consideration is the concept of unintended or unpleasant thoughts pecking away at our back. Real quick before we get started, let's practice a little intentional breathing. I encourage you to join along with me. It'll only take about 30 seconds. I'm going to find something off in the distance in my space here to focus on gently as I do my intentional breathing. I'm going to breathe in for about 4 or 5 seconds, hold it, breathe out, pause for a moment, and repeat that a couple times. Breath in. Thank you for joining me for that little session of intentional breathing. A reminder of today's consideration: it is the concept of unwanted or unpleasant thoughts pecking at our back. This consideration actually came to me as an experience I had a few days ago. I was outside getting some work done at a ranch that I've been visiting. And shout out to Empower Ranch, real quick, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to getting people outdoors and serving underrepresented or vulnerable communities. Go ahead and check them out online. I'll put a link in the descriptions so you can learn a little bit more about them. Anyways, I was outdoors sitting at this table getting some work done or attempting to get some work done, I should say. And I'm writing things down, and all of a sudden, I hear this like really loud, like screeching noise and something at my back. And I turn around and I notice a feathered friend sitting there pecking at my back. It's a hen. I'll post a picture over on mindfulx.net to the of the picture, which is I find rather amusing. But at the moment, I did not. I was trying to get work done, and I'm just like, okay, well, the chicken's there. I thought it was cute at first, and then I just kind of turned back to writing and getting some things done. And then I felt a peck at my back again later, and a peck at my back again later. And eventually I was like, okay, let me shoo this thing away. And I did, and it jumped down, and I thought that was the end of it. Well, later on, as I was going throughout my day, I think I was on a phone call at a different part of the ranch, and this hen, it comes up to me and it starts pecking at me again. And I was like, oh, that's funny. But then after a couple times, I'm like, okay, this is getting old, right? I'm trying to focus on this phone call that I'm on at this moment. And I was definitely getting distracted. I could feel myself getting frustrated. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just move to a different place, right? This is this hen's home. It likes to roam around these parts. So I'll just go find a different area. Well, fast forward maybe 15 minutes later, I'm still on my phone call, and I look across the way and I see this hen who is now up on the fence, or right about to get on the fence on top of its coop, like it's going to jump over the fence. And knowing what I know about this ranch, I know these hens aren't supposed to go over the fence onto the adjoining properties. So I immediately start to head over there while I'm on my phone call, not wanting the hen to jump over there. So I go over and just kind of shoo the hen back down off of the top of this coop. And then what happens maybe 5-10 minutes later, when I'm again back off in the distance on my phone call, I see the same thing. So I immediately go back over there, and at this moment, I just start to see like the irony in what I'm doing here with Mindful X and Mindful X 365 specifically, and this moment and this literal distraction that's going on, and all the metaphorical connections start to happen in my brain. And I see the chicken. As I shoot her down off the top, she was looking at the door of her coop, which happened to have been shut. And I was like, okay, well, you just want to go in maybe? So I opened the door and she just went right on in, which is something that's not typical for these hens during the middle of the day. But once I took a moment to recognize that this hen or this distraction wanted to just be let in, it just needed a place to go. Um, I was like, oh, that's all it took. And that's when this metaphor, this consideration, uh, really clicked for me. And I appreciated that hen for giving me the opportunity to recognize this literal moment of things that happen in our brain where we have this thought, this unwanted thought. Perhaps it's an unpleasant thought or this idea that's nagging at us, right? And we just keep trying to push it away, maybe gently at first, and then it comes back and we get a little bit more angry or annoyed, or it starts to bug us a little bit more. Maybe it's stopping us from getting a good night's sleep, whatever it happens to be, and it it just keeps getting pushed away. And sometimes we can push it away farther, but even off in the distance, it'll still be there, nagging at us, pecking at our back. When we give ourselves the opportunity to recognize it and just breathe for a moment and perhaps give it a place to go, maybe that's with a little bit of mental noting and just noting distraction or planning or rehashing, ruminating, whatever mental note we apply to that unwanted or unpleasant thought, it then doesn't have that same power over us. Just like the chicken on top of the coop trying to jump over the fence, right? And I kind of relate that to those ideas that we don't want to let go because we just got to keep it on our mind, because if we don't, keep it on our mind, we're going to forget about it. But just by giving it a place to go, whether it be a mental note or a literal note that we write down on a piece of paper, we give that unwanted, unplanned for, perhaps unpleasant thought or idea a place to go. And then it kind of releases that pressure from us. A little bit later in the day, we went back to the coop. We noticed something laying in the box of this hen. And this is a hen that hasn't really been laying eggs lately, a hen that's newer to the ranch. And for us to find that egg was actually a unique and special moment to see that the hen is regularly laying eggs now. And I look at that egg as being the fruition of a lot of hard work that can come from an idea or a thought or concept when we give it the appropriate place, the appropriate space to exist. And I know for some of you, this may sound out there, and I don't think the hen was literally sending me this message, but in this literal physical interaction that took place and this egg that came to be, I was able to find meaning for those metaphorical situations that pop up all the time, and recognizing when I do get frustrated with these unwanted or unpleasant thoughts, the power that they have over me is a few intentional breaths away. But farther than that, when we give it that space, we have the opportunity for something amazing to happen. Thank you so much for stopping by for today's episode. I'd love to hear little moments that you find in your everyday life, or what this experience that I had means to you. Go ahead and comment wherever you're watching this or listening to it, or better yet, head on over to mindfulx.net. We would love to have you there. I'll put links in the descriptions below. If you have any questions or comments about signing up, let us know. But it's totally free. It's free from ads, and it'll only take you about 30 seconds to get started. Again, I'm Justin McBride. Remember, mindfulness is only a few intentional breaths away.